Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started here in a few minutes. So if you're in the back and you have one of these seats, if you could come grab those seats now, and please stay seated. Thank you.
All right, good deal. All right. So it's great to be back in Destin. It's great to be back in Northwest Florida. Couldn't ask for a better day. I think getting into the high season here, you guys are probably going to do very well over throughout May and Memorial Day in particular. And Memorial Day is going to be affected by the announcement I'm making today. So we're excited that we're able to be here to be able to do that. I'm joined by the Executive Director of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Roger Young. We also have Todd Royal, who's a local here and a fisherman. Clint Rogers, Director of Community Engagement for Saltwater Restaurants. I also want to thank Legendary Marine Sales for hosting us here today. It's some nice hardware you got in here, and I know there's probably a lot of people lining up to pay a lot of good money to be able to do it. We are really excited about all the great success Florida's had, but we just never rest. We always want to do better and better and better. And so if you look at kind of the trajectory that we've had since I've been governor, our economy's grown by almost 40%. And that's number 2 in America behind Idaho, which is good. During that period from 2019 to present, if you take all the debt that the state of Florida had accumulated over a 180-year period, we've retired 41% of it and growing just during my tenure. We now have the lowest per capita debt of any state in the United States. Of course, no income tax, one of the lowest tax burdens, certainly at the state level per capita in America. Even though our state now has millions of more people than New York, which is the closest state to us population-wise, our budget's less than half of New York State's budget. And in fact, we have the lowest number of state workers per capita of any state in the United States. And so we've done it very conservatively, done it well. But even with that, even with having that type of thing, we've always done hey man, we got a good, that's a fraud. You should be ashamed of yourself for peddling those bogus narratives. So we were able to get, so in spite of all of that, in spite of the very cool and very conservative budget, we've been able to do really significant things on protecting environment, natural resources, Everglades restoration, water quality, huge investments, even things like trying to get these pythons out of there that are really causing a lot of problems, beach renourishment, you name it. Transportation and roadways, we were able to do Moving Florida Forward, which is about a $7-8 billion extra infusion to accelerate road projects, including some stuff up here in Northwest Florida that were scheduled to be done, but weren't going to be done for, maybe even started for another 10, 15 years. Now these things are going to be done 5 to 10, even 15 years ahead of schedule. And then on education, we've done more on education, whether that's teacher salary increases, school choice, all those things than have ever been done. So we're doing, I think, the big things that really matter, but we're doing it in a way that is sustainable, that respects taxpayers, that's paying down debt, that's doing all the things that so many people would like to see the federal government do, quite frankly, and they haven't been able to do. So that's, that's a great story. Now, as part of the economic success has been the fishing and boating community. I mean, we are the #1 fishing and boating state in the United States by a country mile. It's not close. This is the place people want to be. Our impact for recreational boating is over $31 billion annually, and that represents more than a 50% increase since 2018. And if you think about it, I know people in this industry know when COVID hit, a lot of people fled to Florida because we were free and open. And some of these folks, it's kind of like if you go to Colorado, you got to learn how to ski. Well, people in Florida, you kind of got to fish or boat or do something, right? So many people got interested, and boat sales went through the roof. I think those are probably some of the best years that we've ever had. Yeah, no, trust me, I remember. So we now have over 7,000 marine businesses. which support over 100,000 jobs across the state of Florida. We consistently rank #1 in both boat registrations and marine expenditures each and every year. Total boat registrations in Florida in our most recent figures, which is 2023, was over 920,000. So that's a really, really big deal. We also have over 4 million licensed anglers, and there's no better place to come fishing in the United States and maybe even in the world than here in the Sunshine State. We've also looked forward to ways to support that in ways that benefit taxpayers. So we have done this freedom sales tax holiday over the summer for the last few years. And we're asking for that to be renewed again in the budget coming up. This is the last week of the legislative session for the legislators. They don't have an agreement on a budget between House and Senate yet. Maybe they will today, but this has been something that's been really successful over many, many years. So this is during the summer, and you get a lot of recreational supplies and activities tax-free. So fishing supplies, boating and water activities, even tickets to different events, you're able to save money, and people that are very active over the summer in Florida, have saved a lot of money by doing that. We've also been able to help our anglers through discounts on hunting and fishing licenses. We did an initiative through FWC. We were able to issue more than 75,000 gold sportsman's license, which was basically, we made it more attractive. It was cheaper, and then yet that still generated like $24 million in revenue, because it's kind of like supply side. You give people a reason to do, and a lot of people sign up and they want to do it. So we extended this program last year and want to keep that going. So right now, people that want to go out and try their hand at fishing on any of our salt and freshwater opportunities, you're able to purchase a combined annual fresh and saltwater combo license for just $5. So that's really, really attractive for a lot of people. Now, we want to continue the momentum. So, I have called for in this year's tax package for the legislature to enact a 2-month tax holiday for vessel fuels for Florida voters. So from Memorial Day to Independence Day, vessel fuel tax-free. Wouldn't that be good? Be really good up here because people are always out and about. So we want to continue to do that, and hopefully, I know there's a lot of public support to be able to do it. Now, which brings us to today's announcement and why we're here. So when I became governor, we had a lot of the anglers would tell me that the way the federal government had managed this red snapper was not an accurate representation of what was actually there. The data that the feds were using in both the Atlantic and the Gulf were not accurate. There were a lot more fish in the sea than what the federal government and those folks were doing. So I work with FWC. Now, the federal government has allowed the state of Florida to manage the Gulf red snapper. They do not yet allow us to manage Atlantic red snapper, and I'm working with President Trump to get that designation for the east coast of Florida too, because if we could manage Atlantic red snapper, we'd be able to provide a lot of great benefits there too. But on the Gulf, we were like, okay, we can do better than what was done. Do you remember what it was at the start, how many days we were doing back in 2019? Yeah. So, you guys remember. You had some opportunity, but it was a pretty tight window. So we've worked really hard over succeeding years, and so 2024 was the longest red snapper season that we've ever done in the history of state management. It was 103 days for that, and that was way more than had been done 5-10 years earlier. Which is really, really good. That gives people more opportunities to go out. It's good for the economy. It's good for recreation. It's good for culture. It's good for all these things. And so the 103-day season was good. We also did an extension because we had more days. So we're happy to be able to do that. And so you had things like the September, October, November, you had like the Thanksgiving time. You had a lot of opportunities where families have time together. They can go out and fish. And so that was something that's really good. But today, I'm excited to say we're going to do even better. I am pleased to announce that for 2025, the Gulf red snapper recreational season will last a total, and this is record-breaking, of 126 days. And that shatters the records. I'm going to flip that. So this is the longest combined season that's been available for anglers in Florida history since state management began. 2025 Gulf Red Snapper summer season will open Memorial Day weekend, May 24th to 26th, then reopen June 1st to July 31st. This includes Father's Day and July 4th, obviously, which will be July 4th will be a kickoff for kind of the America 250 as we get into 2026. We'll also be adding the additional fishing days in the fall for Florida families and visitors to fish red snapper daily from September 1st through the 14th, then transition to 3-day weekends through the end of the year. This includes holiday opportunities on Veterans Day, the Thursday through Sunday of Thanksgiving, and yes, even red snapper on Christmas for those who are so inclined. So this is highly anticipated by Floridians every single year. We know that folks from all over the Northwest Florida love to do the red snapper. We also know that the local economy loves it as well, given recreational fishing for Gulf red snapper has been a tradition here going back to the 1840s and probably even before then. So we can enjoy this historic season thanks to the great work of FWC and the State Reef Fish Survey, which gathers data directly from anglers and helps us better manage the health and stock of the species. While today's announcement is welcome for our Gulf communities, we have more work to do. And in the Atlantic, how many days were in the Atlantic last year? Federal government. So as we did, the 103 days in Florida for the Gulf that we manage, we don't manage the the Atlantic. The feds did it 2 days they gave for Atlantic red snapper. So we have asked, I've talked to the president himself, I've talked to the Secretary of Commerce, we requesting let us manage the red snapper in the Atlantic. We will do a good job, we will have accurate data, and we're going to be able to expand a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to be able to do this. And I know that the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp's also supportive of having Georgia manage their coast on the Atlantic side. And this is really keeping with, I think, the president's vision to empower the states and make sure the federal government isn't overstepping its bounds. So we stand ready, willing, and able to get that job done. We would love to see that happen sometime this year so that in 2026, maybe I won't have to come to Northwest Florida. Maybe I'll need to go to the East Coast of Florida to announce these great opportunities. I love coming here, don't get me wrong, but I'm not exactly going to go over to the Atlantic coast and make this announcement when they get 2 days. So hopefully we're able to get it. But I think if you look at this and you look at the number of days, so this is by year in terms of how we've done it, you really saw the renewed commitment when we came in, and then they have the days of the Atlantic next to it. So you see just a handful of days that the federal government does, and then we've really worked hard to expand this under our state management. If you go back before, you will see even less. You will see less days for Gulf red snapper as well. I mean, we've really worked hard to get it. Even, when we were first doing these announcements, I remember coming here a few years ago, those were big announcements at the time. People were really excited because it had represented such a big expansion for what had been done in the past. Well, now, this is a real big deal. And to be able to go out there on Memorial Day weekend, that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and do it, it's going to be fantastic. Obviously, June and July, great times to do that up here over those times. And then these key first couple weeks of September too, but then these key dates where you could do Memorial Day or Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, really a home run. And so I want to thank FWC for being involved in this. I know that
We talk about memories and people making them on the water. They also make them in the restaurants. When you sit at our restaurants and you're right there on the water and you're looking at the Gulf of Mexico and you're eating a fresh piece of red snapper, you're making memories. And that's important, and that's part of what we do. So thanks again for everything.
Good. All right.
First and foremost, thank you, Governor DeSantis and your team, for choosing this wonderful showroom where you can stay late and buy boats if you please. Everyone's here on Monday, so you won't have a problem with that. And thank you guys all for coming, taking time out of your day. We love this place. I've been here for 22 years. My name's Todd Royal. I'm a Jacksonville native. And you can tell that I moved here because, unlike our voiceful friend in the back, he must live on the Atlantic, because he is jonesing for some red snapper. I mean, that guy is ready to catch a red snapper. But and thanks to Alex McDougall. She's the young lady that gets to be the general manager of the largest high and dry boat storage facility in the entire country, which also, Guinness Book of World Records, has the largest American flag in the world painted on top of it. And she came from West Palm Beach. And then we have Trevor Hardy here, who runs all of Legendary's service department, the largest service department in our entire industry. And he has been here working on charter boats, catching red snapper at least all of 60 years. I'm sorry, he's actually younger than I am. And then Chuck is our regional manager here that runs all of the Legendary stores. Now, he's from Wisconsin, so he's never seen a red snapper, so we better get to him quick, or he'll have a Tennessee hat on getting carried out of here. And then Captain Mike Parker, 30 years of being a charter boat captain here in Destin. And Captain Mike actually started the first accredited fishing class in the state of Florida. And we're looking to expand that around the state. We're not talking about a fishing club, an actual fishing class. And it all started with Captain Mike taking people out and catching red snapper. And then beside him is Captain Mark Holtz and his first mate, Kayla. And it's a great story because a professional hockey player, ex-military, professional skier from loves Sugarloaf up in Vermont, and he comes down and walks in and he has a dream because he caught a red snapper one day, and he buys a little 21-foot sea hunt from us. And now he's graduated. He's on Team Everglades. He's got this beautiful 24-footer, and his fish of choice is what? Red snapper. So not only is it the best table fare within state waters, without a doubt, right? It's the best picture fish, like Captain Mike and Captain Mark suggested. So it's beautiful, it's pink, it's vibrant. You can take a 2.5-pound snapper, and if you can extend your elbows far enough, it becomes 22.5-pound red snapper. But it is the fish that brought us all here, right? It's the fish that brought us all here, and it's the fish that's going to keep us here. And what Governor DeSantis and his team have done to extend this season is priceless. It is absolutely priceless, and we cannot thank you enough, because economically it's great for our community, but socially, to Captain Mike's point before this meeting today, when he walks in the fall, which we typically don't have any snapper days, when he walks in the fall and all of his kids in his class are talking about not only the fish that they caught, but the fish that they got to take home to eat, or the fish that they got to take to their restaurant where you've got to catch and cook, I mean, those memories are priceless, and we just want to thank you for extending this year.
Well, I think people are going to be really excited when they hear this news, and you look at the difference between the federal and the state management, and doesn't that just say everything about these federal bureaucracies? I mean, trying to tell you that there's only enough red snapper for 1 or 2 days in the entire year, that entire Atlantic coast. Meanwhile, we're doing this, and the stocks have never been better here in the Gulf. So this is really just understanding what we need to be doing. These guys working really hard to get it done, and not letting the federal entrenched bureaucracy hold us back. So I'm really excited about the possibility of getting the Atlantic management sent down to Florida. We'll get on it. We'll work very closely. We'd love to get that done this year so that we can really work as quickly as possible to provide some relief for folks on the Atlantic coast. But as it's now, some of these people, they live in like Jacksonville. They kind of got to come here for red snapper, right? So you guys are probably doing okay as a result of that. So thanks, everybody, and please enjoy. Okay, we have any questions back there? Yes. Yes, I would. Yep. The guy needs to get on his medication, man. I mean, good Lord. That guy's got some serious issues. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.